Well, Pride continues. Happy Pride. Thank you for joining me now, Z. Now, Z,
Hmm.
I want to say your last name too, but you say it. I just ain't got it down quite yet with
That French
the
R.
French R.
Yeah.
So can you tell the people, say your name?
Cher ami.
Cher ami.
Hmm.
Did I do?
Cher ami.
Cher ami.
Close,
Close,
close.
close.
You know.
Okay, I'm gonna practice. I'm gonna practice. Thank you for joining me now.
Thank you so much for having me.
No opportunity wasted. I am so glad that I actually was able to make it here to New York. This is our first time actually meeting in
In
person.
person,
Well,
yes.
not this very moment, but this
Hmm.
trip was our first time meeting in person. And I just have to say, first of all, thank you to Daniela, who told me that I could not miss this moment. As somebody who's been one of your on your team as an EP and voicing two of the characters, when we've done this work, that's the best part is being there to, experience
Yeah.
the presentation of it all. But honestly, as a black trans woman, as a black creator, we know
Mm.
that these budgets be tight. You know what I'm saying? I know I didn't have it in my personal budget. I know we didn't have it in the budget to be doing all the things. I was just
Mhm.
like, I'm gonna chill. I'm
Mm.
gonna chill at home and just, celebrate. But she told me no.
Mm.
She was like, you need to be there. And so it is because of her that I was able to actually make this moment happen and be here and celebrate with you. So I'm glad that I could do that.
I'm so glad we got that opportunity. Also, thank you, Daniela, so much. I definitely want to take some time apart to tell you thank you individually, but no, like having you there, being able to share and experience that moment with you. I mean, the fact that, like, I mean, outside of Keith, because I know he had obligations, he's the busiest man in the world next to like Kiki Palmer. Like, they
Mhm.
are always doing
He's talking about
things.
Keith David because Keith David, the amazing actor,
Mm,
such a voice. When you hear his voice, you automatically know it.
so
So
recognizable.
that's why in voice animation, it was such a blessing to have him. So, okay, I want you to tell the people though. I want you to tell the people, we're going to go back a little bit. We're
Hmm.
going to rewind back a little bit. Actually, even before me, before I came onto this project,
Hmm.
because you've been working on this story for a long time.
A decade. It will
A
make September 26th will make 10 years.
10 years.
Mhm.
Can you tell the people what inspired you to start with this story?
So the initial conception of Captain Zero really came from a depressive episode that I almost lost. This was 2015. I had just moved to Orlando, had been living in Florida my entire life, just moved to Orlando for college. I went to college at Full Sail University. This was maybe 3 months in, and I fell into one of the worst depressive episodes I'd had at the time. A year prior, I was diagnosed with major depressive disorder. And again, there was no one in my immediate circle, no friends, no family members that even knew where to start the conversation about my mental health. I also growing up, like being Caribbean, both my parents Haitian, it was like, you're sad. What is that? Why? I don't understand.
Yeah.
So when I had, that really, really bad depressive episode, it felt like it was just like a compounding things that were happening. It was, moving away in this new place, venturing out, still trying to figure out who I am as a person. That was like the first time I got like my nose pierced. Like there were just so many, all these new things that were happening. And a lot of it was just like scary and challenging at the time. And I fell into a really, really bad depressive episode. And I remember I was like in my living room, I was bawling my eyes out, I was like in the fetal position. And I remember when I got up off the ground, I remember to the table to the left of me, there was a stack of paper and a pencil. And then I remember in my bathroom, there were a bunch of razor blades because I, cut my own hair. And I remember thinking to myself in that moment, like, I have two options. It literally felt like a fork in the road. I could go down this path. That's maybe something that's constructive, or I could go out of this other path, something that's destructive. And ultimately, the more I sat with myself and the things that I was feeling, I realized more than anything, what I felt was voiceless. I felt like, again, there was just no one that understood me, and I wanted so desperately to be understood. So I decided to take, the pencil and the paper and instead try to transmute what it was that I was feeling into something that could be tangible. So the initial conception of Captain Zero was really just supposed to be about my senior year in high school, being diagnosed with major depressive disorder and navigating that as like, you know, a Black mask person. That was the basis of what the show was supposed to be about. But then throughout like that night, again, I just started thinking about all of my, you know, other influences, things that I love, superheroes, comic books, all those kinds of things. And I was like, wait, what if I made like this narrative about like this superhero that was dealing with depression? Because that was something, again, I had never seen before. And I thought about what an interesting concept that would be. And then, yeah, within a few hours, I had drawn the very first image of Captain Zero.
Wow.
And I came up with that name, Captain Zero, because, again, I just thought it would be such a great juxtaposition. Like Captain being this, you know, name of a high-ranking military officer, but Zero meaning nothing and nobody. So it's like you're the captain of the nothings, of the nobodies. So that was, you know, where the initial conception of the show came about.
Wow. Like, and that's incredible that I don't know what it was about you connecting depression and mental health and sort of the struggle that we've had as Black people to be in environments that could help us understand and access these things. It just seems so wild that you revealed the weight that so many of us are under with Black excellence.
Yeah.
You know, this thing that weighs us down that we're trying to live up to when we find out that Black excellence is a scam because there's so much white mediocrity out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But so many times myself, you know, I come from a lineage of people who have done amazing things because they had to.
Yeah.
Because they had to. But when you said there's a line that sticks out to me in this whole series, you know what line I'm talking about.
I know the line.
What's the line?
Who's going to save me when I need saving?
Who's going to save me when I need saving? Do you know? For some reason, I thought I had some unlimited supply of privilege because I was pretty. I thought the pretty would take me to the bank or something. I don't know. But like, I thought I had all this privilege. And so I was ignoring my own needs so much and just pouring into, you know, just serving community and doing the things and what have you. And then after a while, I started chipping away at my own sort of like, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
We're dealing with this for so long and seeing change and then a pushback. And then I also suffer the consequences of being the one who steps out there and then gets beat down and have my livelihood taken from me and certain things and what have you. And all of a sudden I find myself in need.
Yeah.
I find myself in need of community, of support, of all these things, and looked up and had to ask myself the same question: who's going to save me when I need saving? But for me, that answer was community. Because the reality is I have been in community for so long with people. And so community pretty much was begging me at this point, let us show up for you. You shown up for community in all these different ways. Please let me show up for you. And I had to break myself down to be able to accept the support and the help. Sometimes we got to feel like we can do it all ourselves. And so coming onto this project, you saw it was an immediate yes from me.
Yeah. Which is crazy because
tell the people how you got me onto the project.
So again, like the wildest thing ever. Like literally anytime someone asks me like, how did you get Angelica Ross? How did you get Keith David? And I'm like, I can tell you the story of how it happened, but this is not a average normal story.
Right.
But literally because of Twitter. Like, so when I write all of my characters, I always write with a specific actor in mind. So this was around like late 2018, 2019, and I'm watching Pose. And I see you in it as Candy, and I'm like, my goodness, like I'm just completely blown away. I'm enamored with you as a human being.
Thank you.
So then I always knew that I wanted, you know, a trans character in Captain Zero. And I'd already, you know, had, you know, some basic kind of things. But once I had saw Pose, I was like, oh no, like I found the character. I found their voice. I found their identity. I found everything. And I just started writing and going crazy. And again, for me, so art was really the main thing that I started with. So before I write anything, I always draw.
Yeah.
So I drew Oblivion and what Oblivion looked like, and I made the basis of what that character looked like literally designed off of you. So one day
She's
randomly,
gorgeous. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. But yeah. Mhm.
so one day randomly, I just like make a tweet and I'm like, hey, I made this character for the show, and I think this would be amazing because again, the goal of the show is to show the intersections of all Black experiences. Very often, especially in media pertaining to Black people, we'll get some Black people or certain parts of the community, but we're not really showing Blackness as a whole.
Absolutely.
And I feel that Black people and Blackness is so multifaceted. And I was like, there's this character that I think would just be like so great to kind of really help break this particular barrier. I would love if you did the voice. And I tagged you in it, and it was just a complete shot in the dark. I just made that tweet. I posted the picture, and I then I like went to bed. And then I woke up maybe like 40 minutes later. It's probably like the ancestors nudging me. And I wake up like 40 minutes later, and I'm looking at my notifications on Twitter, and like instantly I see there's a response, blue check mark, and I'm like, oh, what's going on? And it's you, and you're like, this looks amazing. I would love to be a part of it. Let me know. Let me know more. I'd love to figure it out. And I'm like, yeah, for sure. And you're like, yeah, just DM me the information. I was like, so instantly I send you a message and I'm sending you all the material. I'm like, here's the scripts, here's the show deck, here's more artwork, here's a little animatic that we did. I'm just showing you everything that I have at that point. And you went through it. I think it took like a couple of hours. Then like you got back to me and you were like, this is absolutely amazing. I want to be a part of this. Like, let me know any and every way I can help get this thing off the ground because this needs to be made and the story needs to be told.
Immediately. And then I went to my agents because you told me that you wanted Keith David. And Keith David is at the same agency as us, And so it's like they were able to connect you with Keith David and he said yes.
Yeah.
How does it feel for you to now have this project where you got the Angelica Ross, the Keith David in this project, and then we bring it to the space and you get it accepted to Tribeca, and you have Whoopi Goldberg curating, hand-selecting our project to be a part of this thing. And I had to, look, I saw you as I saw the young you.
Yeah.
Standing next to Whoopi and being so, just about this moment. Yeah. What does it mean to you to stand in this reflection of this moment coming from where it began, where you were dealing with this depression and to seeing what this has led you to now?
Man, it's so beautiful. I still feel like I'm still kind of coming down from the high of that experience. And even, meeting, connecting with you, even like in the first like virtual interaction I had with like Keith, talking to him, like all the life that he's spoken to me. You, when I talked to you for the very first time we did our interview and all the life that you've spoken to me, I felt like that was honestly the validation that I was kind of looking for as an artist, not that, we should go around seeking external validation, but what that meant to me, because I respected you guys so much, because you guys both come from a very long, illustrious career of all these amazing projects that you've been a part of. So it's like someone of that caliber has seen something that I've done and you don't know me from nowhere. And you've seen what I'm doing. You're like, no, yes, you're on the right path. You're doing the right thing. It was, again, for me, it felt like the ultimate validation as an artist. Like, oh my gosh, you know what? Maybe I am good. I think it's oftentimes, at least for me, that imposter syndrome kind of creeping in of being like, well, are you as good as you think you are? Like, yeah, you think this draft is good, but like, is it really? And on this long 10-year journey that I've been on making Captain Zero, again, like the version of the script that you saw was draft 134.
Right.
So it took a long time to get the script and the quality of the story and the characters up to a point where it was like someone could read this for the first time and it's an instant yes. But I had to deal with all of those no's and all those rejections and all the ghosting, reaching out to people and then just
I've been there, yes.
Nothing,
yes. So it's Pride Month. And I think it's no coincidence that we are meeting during Pride Month, that I was doing this show during Pride Month to highlight folks. And I find out, you know what I'm saying? You are in our community.
Yes.
Now listen, identifying as non-binary, the pronouns are
they, them.
They, them are the pronouns. How did you, because again, you've been going through depression, you've gone through these things. How did you make it to a place to be able to embrace your non-binary identity?
So, I feel like it came to a point where I just couldn't not be non-binary anymore. So something that I've heard in the experience of a lot of people that come out when they're older is the first interactions within people of their community, kind of seeing other people that are already living the life that they would like to live, kind of inspires them to be like, oh my gosh, like I could also do the same thing. But also for me, it was realizing like, I didn't even know that was an option. I thought the only boxes were like male, female, and that's kind of it. That's what I was raised to believe and raised to think, you know? So it wasn't until I think I was about like 16 years old and I had a friend that was non-binary. And that was the first time I had ever met or engaged with a non-binary person. And I remember actually the first time they came out to me non-binary, I think my response was like terrible. Not that it wasn't accepting, it was just very ignorant. Like I was just like, I don't know what that means, but like whatever you got going on, cool. Which is just like, that's awful. That's terrible.
But I'm sure that was good at the time. I know. Yeah.
You know, but the longer I got to know them, the more it was like, oh, wait a minute. There are all these things that I understand about gender are really just like social constructs. Even the way that people present their attire, none of these things are directly tied into who a person actually is. And again, also realizing that like, oh, there's more options. There's more than just being this. And it made me go back and reflect to childhood. It made me think about all these instances where, you know, I was called a mama's boy or a crybaby or just overly emotional for a boy. Like when I was younger, because I've always been an artist my entire life, I was like, oh, that's just the artist in me. That's why I'm so sensitive. But you know, going back after, you know, doing all that knowledge and research, it was like, oh no, like there were always things about masculinity that I just never got. Like literally outside of the way that I dress, just because this just feels the most comfortable for me, there really isn't a whole lot of things that are very masculine about me.
Right.
Like, I don't like manual labor. I've never really been into monster trucks and cars. The things that I do like are all really based on like aesthetic beauty. Like to me, I think a Lamborghini Aventador is an amazing car, but not because it's a Lamborghini, because of boys, I'm just like aesthetically, it's one of the most beautiful cars I've ever seen. So I've always looked at things through that vantage point, through that lens. And again, there were just so many aspects about things boys would do or things that were normal socialized things for boys to do where I'd be like, I don't get it. Why are y'all doing that? That's weird.
So what does non-binary mean to you?
So non-binariness to me means the freedom to be and exist as I am as a person. You know, it's one of the reasons why I changed my name. I'm like, I want my name to be reflective and indicative of who I am. And again, like singular letter. Like I don't even want it to be like a full other name, like singular letter, like being. I am just Z. That is what I am. How I show up, how I, you know, engage with people, you know, the way that I show love for my community. These are all the things that I want people to remember about me, you know, not, you know, what my sexual orientation is or who I choose as a partner. I just want to be and exist as a person. Another part of, you know, finally coming out as non-binary was it finally got to a place where it just felt like I just couldn't pretend to be a man anymore. Like you know, the more that I was learning about these things, the more that I was, you know, engaging more with my community, the more I was like, oh my gosh, like there's this whole other side of existence of being that I didn't even know about. So for like a good, probably from the ages of like starting at like 22, I knew I was a non-binary person, but I didn't tell anyone I was a
Wow.
non-binary person. And most of that had to do with the response of other people. I was like, what are they going to say? They've known me their whole life as a man. What are my friends going to say? Like, what's my mom going to say? Like, I'm going to tell them all to call me a new name. Like, that's going to be weird. It's going to be uncomfortable. And so much of it was, again, predicated on how will other people feel about how I exist.
Right.
But it eventually got to a point where it was like, people would say my dead name and it's like I started getting a physical, visceral reaction to it. And I was like, that doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel right. Every single time people would say it, because that name, again, to me was associated with everything that was the pretending of that version of me. And I was like, I don't want to pretend anymore. And it got to the point where the mask was so heavy, it was like, I can't keep carrying this. So it just got to the point where one day randomly in my group chat with all my friends, I was like, hey, you guys, so I'm non-binary. If you got questions, here's the Google definition of what it means. I'm open to have a conversation if you guys want to talk and learn more about it. But like, this is me. This is who I am. What's up? We still friends or what? And to my surprise, all of them, except for one, no longer friends no more, were like, you know, I'm not sure I understand everything about this, but I love you. and I want to be there for you, and I'm committed to doing the work to understanding you.
Wow.
And yeah, so I was like, what? Oh my God, my friends are amazing.
Not only your friends, your sister
My sister
is
yeah.
amazing too. Looks just like you, child. Y'all look just
That's
alike.
what everyone said.
But seeing your sister there,
Mhm.
supporting you was so amazing. And then also getting to meet so much of the rest of the team and folks that have been there for so long, helping you write these stories. Can you talk about your team and just like, because one of the things I am so proud of
Mm.
is like in the animation team,
Mm.
cutting edge.
Mm.
Like, didn't they work on another animation series that I really love? Didn't folks work on?
I mean, we had a couple of our animators that we've worked with worked on
On a few things.
different things.
Didn't we have a few people that worked on Invincible?
Yes, yeah.
So when I tell you I saw it set in that theater, gagging. You know, you sent me the scenes and the different things or whatever, but I haven't seen it in the whole thing
All
together.
together.
So when I was seeing it all together, I was like, and I'm telling you in that moment, I was enjoying myself, but I was also, oh my goodness, this is going to be huge. This is, oh my God, whoopies. Can't stop talking about it. And like, you know, I just saw everything happening in that moment. Talk to me about the different people and how you were able to pull together a team with such talented animators and co-writers that you work with.
Yeah, I guess first I'll start with Andre. Andre's my vice president, also my co-writer, co-director. He's who I met in Full Sail, who like about 3 months after I'd made Captain Zero, I met him and we started working together. The brief version of how we met is basically we were in a script writing class together, and both of us thought we were the best script writers in that class. And then we heard the other one go up and deliver their pitch, and we were like, hold up, wait a minute, I might have some competition. Wow. And it was my idea to essentially be like, you know what? I feel like if I don't work with this guy, I'm going to spend my entire career looking over my shoulder to be seeing what he's doing. So, you know what? Instead of doing that, let's just work together.
Wow.
And I feel like, you know, instead of being two individual really good filmmakers, we kind of come together and we make one great filmmaker.
I love that because so many times people are focused on the individual route. And you guys have been working together for how long now?
10 years.
10 years. And let the people know, Captain Zero, that ain't it. I mean,
oh no. We have so much.
I mean, you don't have to tell them everything. But yeah, well, we know that we got a lot of projects in the works.
A lot of projects. So that's Andre. Then, you know, we have our CMO, our chief marketing officer.
Oh, she's amazing.
She's amazing. Queen is absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. They're also my partner. Oh my goodness! Like again,
are they non-binary as well?
Well, she goes by she.
Oh, she okay. Because I, mean, I just want to make sure I'm getting.
I got
because I love them, and I want to make sure I respect them as well.
I got you. But yeah, no, she goes by she her. But yeah, no, like Queen is just absolutely phenomenal. Like her mind, especially when it comes to like marketing, like the ideas that she has. She also comes from an artist, graphic designer background. She's also currently in school right now to be an art therapist. So it's actually kind of crazy how so many different parts of our world intersect. So it's like I'm making a show about mental health and therapy, and my partner is studying to become an art therapist. So yeah, no, Queen is absolutely amazing. Then you have Chris Carthorne. He's our COO. He's another, again, super phenomenal person. Came in. He's the main reason why we even made a part 2. I wasn't even thinking about making a part 2 until Chris randomly hit me up in an Instagram DM, was like, oh my gosh, I saw part 1. Well, at the time, it was just the regular version.
Right.
But he was like, oh my gosh, like I saw part 1 and this was like so cool. It resonated with me so much. It ends on a cliffhanger. Have you ever thought about making a part 2? And if you do, I've got like $8,000 for you. And I was like, I wasn't at first, but now you've piqued my interest. And then that relationship was able to develop and blossom there. But he's a great, amazing human being. And Italian. He's our CFO. He came in actually just a couple of months ago because he's the reason why we finished the short film, because we actually ran out of money.
Baby.
In, what was that, the early of January?
Was doing GoFundMe, selling merch, doing all the things.
Oh my God, we were doing all the things. Like we had that initial Kickstarter. We raised, the goal was 35,000. We raised 36 and we were like, oh my gosh, we got it. Okay, cool. Off to the races. And then, as is with all animation is very expensive.
Very.
And something that we do at Cutting Edge Animation that's not common is, again, we pay above what the traditional rate is for what most animators get paid, especially working on an indie level. Because for me, I'm like, everything I want to be ethical. Our unofficial official slogan is cutting edge, never cutting corners. So I'm just like,
Yes.
I don't want to, if my goal is to differentiate myself from these other major studios, I want to make sure that everything we're doing, including our practices and how we pay people, compensate people, is different. So we ended up running out of money in January, and we ended up starting a secondary Kickstarter. We, funny enough, did not raise the goal that we wanted for that secondary Kickstarter, but the Italian actually saw that Kickstarter, messaged me on Instagram. Again, I don't know what it is about Instagram and financial opportunities, but for some reason they seem to find me on Instagram.
Yeah.
Saw our Kickstarter, message me. He was like, hey, I saw the highest tier that you guys have to donate is $500, but I want to give y'all way more than that. I think this is like amazing. I would love to be a part of it. We hop on a phone call, we have a conversation, and it felt like in that one conversation that we had, it's like, I feel like I've known this guy like my whole life. You feel like the older brother that I've always wanted. I told him what our deficit was, and he was like, all right, like I know, because again, like, Black people. And I was like, for me, I'm always like, I've always had to deal with the bare minimum. So I'm like, if you just give me the base, I'll make it work. But the Italian was like, no, tell me what you really need. I know this is the base, but tell me what you really need. I told him that number, and he was like, bet, no problem. Give me 2 weeks and I'll give it to you. So Chris is the reason we started. The Italian is the reason that we finished.
Oh,
So he came through. Then we have Lori, our executive assistant. She's absolutely wonderful. They helped me with all of the things that because my ADHD, I can scatterbrain.
Me too. Don't listen. That's another ADHD, but it is also a superpower as a superhero. Yes.
Yes.
Well, I have to say thank you just so much for having the courage to make it through your own challenges.
Thank you.
Having the courage to speak up, having the courage to speak out and ask for Angelica Ross and get the ball rolling in all these things, because we are here now because of you.
Yeah.
In these moments. I cannot wait for us to work on the movie. On the feature film. Y'all, we are working on a feature film, so we still need your support. So please still stay tuned. Yeah. Now, I do want to, will I be able to play a little clip?
Oh yeah,
a little clip for the people.
Now that we got Tribeca out the way, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
No, we can show. So
we're gonna play a little clip for you, so you can just see how amazing Captain Z is as we come out of this interview. So again, thank you so much. Happy Pride. Welcome to the family.
Thank you so
much for having me. And please, like I told you, we are in this together. As a Black trans woman, my pockets don't run as deep, all the time, and blah, blah, blah. But I bring everything that I bring, and I will work and use everything that I have. So when we need something, but we're gonna get it together.
Likewise. No,
thank you so much, Z. Happy Pride.
Thank you. Happy Pride.
We'll be right back.
What's wrong, hero? Walls closing in around you? Hope fading. Darkness overtaking. You can feel it, can't you? Despair is sitting in. Oh, shh. Don't try and fight it. Just sit back and sink into the abyss.